On July 6, 2008, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer had one of the greatest matches in tennis history, going back and forth in the Wimbledon final. This would be one of many matchups between the two that would later define the feudal rivalry that enamored tennis faithfuls and brought new fans into the sport. This match would place a prime Roger against a prime Rafa at the peak of their powers. Classic technique versus pure grit. Number 1 versus number 2, Zeus versus Hercules. As the match unfolded, Roger would do something in this match that would change the course of tennis history. This match was highly anticipated. Federer was the 5-time defending champion. He was untouchable on grass, while Nadal was emerging, having won the French Open, beating Federer with ease only weeks prior. The public still had Federer as the favourite, as many pundits casted doubts on Nadal's versatility on surfaces other than clay. This was a clash of eras, styles and legacies. Nadal, the Spanish bull, versus Roger, the Swiss maestro. Nadal had his sights set on Federer's kingdom. Rafa was only 22 years old and was so good so early. His stats were off the charts for anyone of that age coming into the tour. To put in perspective, Nadal had already won 4 French Opens. This was unheard of in tennis.
As he made that, that is absolutely ridiculous.
The thing about Rafa was he had a game plan when he played Roger. He had one mission. He played his trademark looping topspin forehand to Roger's backhand side. On clay, it was so effective. As good as Roger's one-hand backhand was, Rafa would completely neutralize Roger's aggressive style and would slowly dictate enough points to apply pressure on Federer's serve. However, many believed Roger's game on grass would change things. The ball stays lower and the surface is faster. Roger could flatten out for winners or even slice to keep the ball extra low. But as the match unfolded, the world could not believe what they were witnessing. Roger was getting outplayed as he were on clay. Rafa's single-minded mission to push the topspin forehand cross-court had been so effective. It paid off in the first set, clinching the break early.
And a break of serve it is, first blood to the Spaniard.
The second set mirrored the first. Roger looked completely lost. Suddenly, Roger was in some deep trouble, serving 2 sets down. Love. 40. Roger needed to find something. Roger found that something and willed his way back into the set. The match. And staying alive in the match, the tennis gods must have been watching, and they decided to impart their will on the match.
The umpire will stay up there probably and be pushed off the court. There he goes, bye-bye.
This gave Roger a bit of time to think, a bit of time to regroup against the ambush. For Rafa, it was the last thing he needed. He had Roger right where he wanted him. Something awoke in Roger in that rain delay. There was a persistent fear of playing Nadal. After all, he had crushed him weeks earlier at the French and had his number in the past few matchups. There was this unwanted rival for Federer, the first to really bother him in his career. He had fought him off in the last 2 Wimbledon finals, but only just. They both had dominated tennis, winning 14 of the last 16 Grand Slams. Roger was the reigning champ here for the last 5 years. This match would also put him in the history books, with Borg at 41 consecutive match wins at Wimbledon. In fact, he was on a 65-match win streak on grass. He came out with a new mindset. If you're going out, go out swinging. Roger played his way back into the match with some shot-making and aggressive play, clinching the 3rd set tiebreak. But what he does next was truly remarkable. Roger found some rhythm in the 4th set. He was finally more relaxed, playing his natural game. Rafa's level hadn't dropped one bit, still applying the pressure to the backhand side, making those impossible passing shots. It was impossible to separate the two. We were finally getting the quality of the match we expected. Roger playing to his grass form and Rafa just being Rafa. But something had to give. Something had to separate the two. Jabbing back and forth on serve for the whole set. No one giving up a break. No one giving up an inch. The set grew to a crescendo, another tiebreaker that would either decide Roger's fate or bringing the match back to balance. And then this happened, to bring up match point.
Stunning!
But Roger did something next that shocked the world. Roger pulled off his best backhand on match point down. These were the best 2 points played at the most important times in the match by both players. Roger used that momentum to power through that set and put the match back in the balance. Rafa was 1 point from winning and had not put a foot wrong all match. Suddenly, Roger had leveled it. The swings of tennis can be cruel, but Rafa knew this wasn't going to be easy. He'd been close before. This was Federer's kingdom, and the king had finally come for the fight. He steadied himself for the fifth, unfazed and still on the mission. The level of tennis would not drop in this fifth set. Roger playing his trademark aggressive tennis, Rafa continuing to play to Roger's backhand, waiting for a short ball to attack. The world were anxiously watching. There was no obvious choice. Both men were matching each other, pushing each other to greater heights and holding serve. Roger even started coming into the net. He wasn't waiting to get bullied from the back. And just when we thought we were nearing the close, the fifth set was interrupted by yet another rain delay. If anything, it might have helped Rafa stop the momentum. Could a final be any more dramatic? This time it was Rafa's time to reflect. He had played close to a perfect match. He hadn't had his serve broken, and yet the match was tied. He'd lost 2 tight tiebreakers, had opportunities to close the match. But there wasn't time to reflect on the past, only the present. And as unpredictable as the match had unfolded, the final set followed the same path. Federer serving his way through the set, Rafa finding ways at the back of the court. Federer hitting aces at will, Rafa pushing Roger back, targeting the backhand, aggressive elegance against tactical grind. Both players were at a stalemate, but only one could come out on top.
Never a moment of doubt in the...
Will not see
30-14. A forehand struck better than this. Ever. That was perfect.
And in a blink of an eye, Roger was 2 points from a 6th Wimbledon Championship, an impossible thought only hours ago. But Rafa put those thoughts to bed very quickly. And all of a sudden, it was Federer's turn to face the pressure on serve. But Federer would hold Rafa off once more. Unlike the previous sets, this set would not be decided by a tiebreaker. Someone had to break. They would trade serves until 7, all in the set. Until someone finally broke.
There's a new man at the head of men's tennis, Rafael Nadal.
After 4 hours and 48 minutes, this match ended in near darkness. Darkness for Roger, delight for Rafa. Roger's grass kingdom had been taken. Rafa telling the world it was his time to come. 2 months later, Rafa was the new world #1, ending Federer's record of 5 years at the top.
I understand why people focus on the end. The final minute is so dark I could barely see the chalk on the grass. But looking back, I feel like I lost at the very first point of the match. I looked across the net and I saw a guy who just a few weeks earlier crushed me in straight sets at the French Open, and I thought, this guy is maybe hungrier than I am, and he's finally got my number.
But honestly, looking back, I think Roger found something in that locker room 2 sets down. It made him question himself, his talent, his trust in his own game, and the quest to continue improving. It made him hungry again. Although he didn't get the result on the day, he showed tremendous fight and courage. He showed resilience of a champion. That unforgettable match reshaped Federer's trajectory. He got inspired again. He ended up making the finals of the next 6 consecutive Grand Slams. He took back Wimbledon the following year, but most importantly, he was able to win the elusive French Open. He even regained the top ranking. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and it will help me produce more content like this going forward. Comment if you think this match changed Roger and Rafa's careers.